Number 10, here are Dr. Nagler's dirty half-dozen rules. Number 1 is don't keep the romance alive. Number 2, don't fight fair. Don't talk about everything. Don't always tell the truth. Can you believe this guy? Don't let go of the money. We talked about that. Don't worry about what you think is important. Talk about this. Help us, Peggy. You agree now? This is...
Yes, I certainly do. A lot of things that Dr. Nagler talks about requires a little effort, but when you're trying to make a romance, trying to make some romance in your life, that's even more difficult. There are things, we have 2 children, there are things you have to arrange if you want to plan a weekend away. Who's going to watch the kids? It's a lot of work, it's a lot of tension. So naturally, Dave and I we just feel comfortable with each other.
But before, when the marriage was, as we say, on the backside of the power curve, I've got to fix it. Isn't the temptation to go out and buy new nighties and all that kind of thing? Or?
Never has been, really. I don't know. We work at it different ways. It's just a natural thing for us to
accept each partner's behavior,
right,
as it is. Mm-hmm. Are you there, caller? Hi.
Hi, Phil. How are you?
Good.
I hope Milo's not watching this for your sake.
Well, tell us why.
Well, these people are crazy. I've been married 15 years, and just yesterday I called my husband into the bedroom in the afternoon with thigh-high red boots and a silk teddy, and he was excited.
He probably was.
I go to his office with a raincoat on, and that's it. I mean, nothing's more exciting. And his friends wish that their wives were more like this.
Yeah, thigh-high red boots.
Absolutely. Why not?
I mean, it sounds wonderful, but when you go into 30 years of the medical literature, which is what I did after my own relationship fell apart, and you look at what do successful couples do? It's not the big stuff that destroys a relationship, and as terrible as this sounds, you will survive the death of a child.
Yeah.
You will not survive the top off the toothpaste every day or the toilet seat left up. It's the unsaid, gosh, you look nice today, thanks for doing that for me, that drives more relationships to death than the major catastrophes. You'll survive the earthquakes, you'll survive the loss of the house. What you need to do to stay together is not sweat the big stuff. That's going to take care of itself. Let's start paying a little attention.
Are you there, caller? Hi.
Hi, Phil. I just want to make a comment. My husband and I have been married for 4 years, and I just want to say that I really agree with the doctor. We kind of don't tell each other every single little thing, and I just think that's just how the way to go.
No, I mean, the best example would be the abortion issue. Even if I could look at my own relationship with Ann. We are on opposite sides of the spectrum. I'm a psychiatrist, she's an attorney, and the more we talk about it, I'm convinced she needs to go to a mental hospital, and she knows that I need to go to jail. You've got a monopoly set talking to a chessboard with women. Boy brains are so different from girl brains, it's a wonder we even get together.
Here's another question. What's better for your relationship? Say I love you and surprise your spouse with roses often, or leaving the top on the toothpaste? He is here to say that B is going to be better for your relationship because if that's who you are, that's who you are. I think that's his reasoning.
No, what? All right.
Let me give him the second one. Okay. You've had an affair. It's over. Should you A, gently confess to your spouse, promise future fidelity, and ask for understanding and forgiveness?
Good luck.
B, keep your mouth shut.
No.
Oh, so we do lie once in a while then, is that right? Well, now you've crossed the line. You promote or support lying in this case.
Phil, communication will get you in trouble every time. I've been a police officer for 13 years, and every time I've gone into somebody's house on a domestic call, it's not because they weren't talking, it's because they were cussing and yelling, and the other one is telling the other side what happened over here and there. I've never been in anybody's house where the fellow's sitting in the chair and she's out in the front having a sip of wine or something. They get along just fine. It's when they're in there talking, boom. Guess who's there?
Yeah, I think Margaret, I know.
I've held my tongue long enough.
I know you have, but I got to ask you to hold it just a little longer. I've got to break here just about.
I will.
They think he's crazy, too.
Absolutely.
But you cannot dismiss the officer's point. He's been had a front row seat that he didn't want to have to the worst kind of domestic violence and disputes and anger and hate. Maybe the best thing is to just keep your mouth shut. Do we agree? We'll be back in just a moment. Hi, thanks for waiting. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
What do you think?
I've been married 23 years, and I don't agree with this guy.
Ooh. Yeah. You do talk it out.
Well, I mean, I've got a 22-year-old daughter, and I learn something new with me and my wife every time we go out or just anything.
Uh-huh. So you do talk, and your marriage is growing and changing. He is saying, among other things, when you disagree with your wife, do you talk it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about a 4 on the enthusiasm.
Well, sometimes I talk it out.
Yeah, sometimes.
Other times I let her get her get her feelings off her shoulders, and then I'll come back and talk to her.
Well, see, you're making Officer Carlington's point. He is saying that he hasn't had to bring the law into a domestic dispute where the partners were silent. Here's the point. There's an issue. This is number 50. There's an issue that must be resolved between you. You know it will cause a fight. Tonight you will both be home early from work, and so you do the following. A, tough it out and get it out of the way. If you don't, it'll stay between you. Fighting is healthy for a marriage, and making up is so much fun. B, avoid it at all costs. Ignore the issue. Don't come home. Don't fight. But if you must, wait until after dinner and then give up immediately. That's what?
50% of all fights in a relationship can be avoided if just one of you can stop being crazy enough to stop, set back, and say, is this really worth fighting about? Remember, most things in your marriage are not worth fighting about, except for a few things that aren't worth fighting about anyways.
Yes.
How can you say not to communicate? I mean, communication is one of the most important things. You're saying
everybody says that.
But you're saying to ignore it and just give up? I mean, if you don't communicate, it seems like you don't care.
I'm saying that if you care, if you truly love that other person, if what you want is a long-term relationship, there are 6 things that you can do, at least supported in the literature, and that worked in my life, because I tried all the others. And with my patients for the past number of years, what I've been encouraging them to do is not keep romance alive, not fighting fair. And what's your question?
What about the children? Children learn from their parents' examples. When parents fight, they make up. They watch the parents fight, they watch the parents make up, kiss, hug, all that sort.
And that's a good thing.
And that's a good thing that a child will learn that so they can
he doesn't want you not to make up.
Yeah, but he's saying not to communicate, not to show the fights or anything.
We don't fight.
Yeah, but then a child's not going to know that it's okay.
What happens when you have disagreements?
Okay, as I said, you can usually, most of the time, get out of that. But if you do have a disagreement, don't tweak somebody's nose. Go for the jugular. No, see, camels are animals made by compromise. Fair fights have nothing to do with relationships.
Margaret Gibson, it's about time. Here you are with Rick Margitza. You're both from New York City, and they are married or not, audience? How do you know this? How did you know they weren't married? Oh, she doesn't have a ring. Oh, I want to be as smart as you someday.
Is that the only way you can't